flying the Embraer E195-E2 Tech Lion at FLL. Wasn't really sure what Tech Lion meant until seeing the design up close. If you have been reading the site for a while, you know that I don't take as many trips as I used to. Life priorities have just changed. When Embraer recently reached out to invite me down to fly on their E195-E2 aircraft, I was all in. But David, didn't you just fly their E190-E2 Sharkjet about a year ago? And don't you always complain about how often you fly the diagcon from Seattle to Florida? Wow, you do read the site quite a bit, and you are right on both accounts. You don't get to taxi often and see a space shuttle. First off, I was going to be able to fly the Tech Lion versus the Sharkjet this time, meow. Secondly, as part of the media flight, we flew into the Kennedy Space Facility, KTTS, got a VIP tour, and had lunch with an astronaut, Tang drink included. And if that wasn't enough, I was able to ride jump seat while taking off from KTTS. Yes, this was going to be worth heading down to Florida again to hang out with the fine folks at Embraer, and I was very grateful that I had an invite. The sunrise with palm trees always looks better going to Florida to see an Embraer Tech Lion. This was a short trip, but that is okay. I woke up in the middle of the night to make my 6 a.m. flight out of Seattle to head down to Fort Lauderdale, FLL. I made it there just in time for dinner, then bedtime. This old man does no partying. I wanted to see the sunrise, so I set my alarm early again, and it was worth it. Soon enough, I was in a bus heading to Embraer's offices, located on the northeast side of FLL. A fun little ticket, my name badge, and laptop ready for the press briefing. Sure, the briefing was interesting, and I share what I learned in the story, but obviously I was giddy to see the plane. Once the briefing was over, it was time to head back on the bus and take a short ride to the hangar with the Tech Lion E195-E2. I have to say, it is quite the impressive livery. My first look at the Embraer E195-E2 Tech Lion. As I typically do, I spent a bit too much time with the outside of the plane. They normally have to herd me, so I didn't have as much time with the inside before we started to taxi. I was a bit sad I never made it up to the flight deck, but I did have some time to check out the new first-class product. Those staggered first-class seats on the E-Jet. I was pretty excited to check out these staggered first-class seats. They were something quite a bit different. Staggered, yet still in a 2-2 layout. At first glance I thought they were pretty darn cool and shared that on Twitter. It didn't take long for some of you to voice your concern at Gordon Werner. So, for an entire flight, some stranger can literally watch everything you're doing, read your email, etc., right over your shoulder. At ANDYCR8 on. So when the person in the forward seat reclines and the other person doesn't, is the non-reclining passenger obligated to read a bedtime story to the reclining passenger? At ScenePit, how do I sext over Wi-Fi with someone looking over my shoulder, which I couldn't help but reply with just open up my Word doc. I was second-guessing myself. Since I didn't have a chance to really try out the first-class seat myself, I reached out to a few of my aviation pals who did get to take them for a spin. Paul Thompson, who you might see riding on Runway Girl, told me if I had to put the first class of the E195-E2 into 2 words, they would be comfortable and adequate. Considering the relatively short missions these planes would be flying, a premium